Whether it's for the notion of becoming the person with the most freedom on the seas or for the sake of his friends, Luffy has been freeing people from the shackles of oppression and control of cruel antagonists that we have come across over the story. And now with the recent portrayal in Wano going against two Yonkos to get one step closer to realizing his dream, and for the sake of the people of that land, we are going to witness another major change in the One Piece world and a change in the perception people have of Luffy. So we're going to discuss how Luffy is going to be viewed in the eyes of the world government, the general people, and the other pirates after coming out of Wano. But before starting the discussion, I publish new One Piece theories every week, so make sure that you don't miss any future One Piece videos by subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Now about the outcome of the Onigashima war that will probably play a great role in the future events, I'm assuming that Kaido will surely be defeated or even killed. But about Big Mom, not sure what might happen, but the point is the alliance they have formed will most probably be dissolved because of the forces led by Luffy. And Luffy's notoriety and influence after Wano will be greatly impacted by how the incidents in Wano will be interpreted and presented to the whole world. And I think the Marines will try to cover up the fact that the Yonko alliance was taken down by Luffy, and they will somehow try to take the credit for themselves. Just like during Alabasta, how they tried to take the credit of dismantling Crocodile. And if word gets out that Luffy, just after becoming the 5th Yonko, took down one or two of the other Yonkos, it would create a great stir in the war, which the Marines don't want at this point, because with everything going on, they already have a fair share of problem on their plate, so they will definitely pull up some strings to try and alter the story about the outcome of the war. And we have already seen that there are some CP0 agents present in Wano, so they might play a role in this, but to me, Luffy defeating the Yonkos, which will most probably happen, is a news that should reach the whole world. And the outcome of a war as big as this getting covered up by the Marines just doesn't seem like a possibility to me. And in this case, we have the perfect guy, Big News Morgan, and we saw how he values his principle about publishing flashy stories, and he has already picked up on with Big Mom and the government. So although Wano is a secluded zone, I think Morgan has already made his plans on how to get these scoops on the war. And that's basically why he was introduced as a character, so that the government can alter the stories any further from now on. And he already has an interest in the Oars generation, and most of them are gathered in Wano. So in terms of Luffy's accomplishments with the Wano alliance and the news of the war reaching to the general people, I don't think we will face any problem with that. Now the news of the war is going to hit the general masses differently based on their status. People who are living in the territories under the cruel reign of Kaido will see Luffy as a savior, and those who doesn't have any direct relations with the Yonkos, people outside the New World, will see this as a change in power, giving remarks on Luffy and the Oars generation. To the people of the lands that Luffy has saved, it will be viewed as their liberator going forward on his journey and saving people like them from oppressing forces. And knowing that Morgan has a knack for making the titles and stories extra cheesy, it might even come off as that Luffy with his overwhelming strength and persona controlled the Minks, samurais, and forced half of the Oars generation to ally with him in taking down the Yonkos. And to the nobles or people of high status, it will be the rise of another monster on the seas. So basically the response will vary among people depending on the news. And to the pirates in general, it will be an occasion to stir more chaos on the seas, and some of them will try to take control of the Yonko territories that will be vacant, which will lead to clashing between different pirate groups. And if Big Mom falls in Wano, we might even see that the people of the Fishman Island will take down our flag, replacing it with the Straw Hats. And King Neptune has already expressed his desire for Fishman Island to be under the protection of the Straw Hats, and now with Jinbei being in the crew, it definitely has a possibility to happen. Now about Blackbeard's perception of Luffy. We saw that when Luffy was titled the 5th Emperor, he said it was too early for him to be called an emperor. So I wonder how Blackbeard is going to react this time. The thing that will intrigue him most is, I think, if the word of Luffy having 3 road poneglyphs reaches him, and after hearing this, he will definitely plan to make a move on Luffy. But his encounter with Luffy will most probably be after Luffy meets Shanks and we get to know more about the Red Hair Pirates. And now about what will be the world government perception of Luffy when the Wano war comes to an end. Obviously they're concerned about the Big Mom and Kaido alliance being the most fearsome pirate alliance of this time. Some are even referring to it as the return of the Rocks pirates. So what happens when a force led by Luffy dissolves that alliance? I think it will be the time for the Goroses to finally mark Luffy as the greatest threat to the world government. And if they sit back and reflect on Luffy's entire journey from the start to the present, even the Yonko's achievements throughout the decades pales in comparison to what Luffy has achieved in his 3 years of piracy. Starting with taking down all the big names of East Blue, then just after arriving on the Grand Line defeats a Shichibukai, declares war to the world government, destroys NES lobby, one of their important institutions, defeats the CP9, survives a buster call, rescuing the only person who can read the ancient poneglyphs, then takes down another Shichibukai, punches a celestial dragon, breaks into Impel Down, which was said to be impregnable, causes a chaos, and then escapes with leading a large number of prisoners out, arrives at Marineford War, instantly allies with the Whitebeard pirates to back him up, then survives the war and dares to come again in the Marineford, then disappears for 2 years and reappears, taking down another Shichibukai, causing the 7 warlord system to fall under question, sneaks into Big Mom's territory, causes a stir and comes out alive, amasses a bounty of 1.5 billion, then goes to Wano, forms an alliance with Minks, samurais and half of the Earth generation, and leads a battle that will result in the defeat of 2 Yonkos. This is almost all of Luffy's feats summarized. I may have missed some others, but that's pretty much about it. And the world government greatest fear is if someone exposes their truth, what happened in the Void Century, and just like Whitebeard said, they are afraid of the fact that someone will learn the story and then challenge them to a fight that will engulf the whole world.
One Piece は実在する!
And Luffy and Blackbeard are the 2 pirates that are shaping out to be that someone. But when Luffy comes out of Wano, he will probably be the closest one to Laugh-Tale with 3 road poneglyphs in his possession and a crewmate who can decipher them. And the other notable point is the allies he has made throughout his journey while liberating them from some sorts of evil. Like the Alabasta Kingdom, which is run by the Nefertari family, who probably holds great knowledge about the world government, and that's probably why Imu-sama targeted Vivi. Then the Fishman race, who holds an ancient weapon, and so Shirahoshi was also marked by Imu-sama. Then there are some other nations like the Sakura Kingdom and Dressrosa. Now these nations can't express allegiance with the pirate, although they were saved by them from the tyrannies for which directly or indirectly the world government was responsible. But if a time comes when a pirate challenges the world government into a war that will engulf the whole world, it's pretty much clear whom these nations will side with. And Luffy has directly made alliance with different races like the Dwarfs of Tontatas, the Long Arm Long Leg tribes, the Giants and the Minks. And now he will have the samurais on his side who are deeply connected to the ancient history. So with all this, I don't see the world government considering anyone else a greater threat to them than Luffy. And during the Reverie arc, we saw that Imu-sama has already targeted Luffy. So the Goroses might have already made some plan to take him down, but I don't think the Marines can spend much of their resources after Luffy when he leaves Wano, because they are already busy enough with the problems they are facing, like the abolition of the Shichibukai system. There's also a possibility of a clash with the revolutionaries, and Blackbeard is making his moves which incorporates the Marines. So the Marines will probably have too much on their hands to solely focus on Luffy. But I do think that Admiral Ryukigyu and Fujitora will come after the Straw Hats, because Fujitora was already planning on pursuing Luffy and Law, and Admiral Ryukigyu needs an introduction at this point, and I think the best way to give that is him going after the Straw Hats. So the conclusion is, whatever happens in Wano, it's definitely going to shake the entire world, and at the center of it all will be Luffy, making it known to the whole world that it's time for the next Pirate King to appear. Now you've stuck to the video this far, so don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Give your thoughts on the discussion in the comments below. Thanks for watching.